Thunder are recovering from their tough stretch to start the exhibition season. Up next, a couple more road games before things tip off for real next week. Hello from the Dodge Sports Desk. I'm Mike Kaler with the latest edition of Inside Thunder Basketball with Darnell Mayberry. Joining me as always is Darnell Mayberry, Thunder beat writer, who just got back from the practice gym today. Darnell, the team has been using this past week to practice, to get healed up before the start of the regular season. Talk to us a little bit about some things that developed today. Guys still beat up, and who's getting healed up?
Kevin Durant. The biggest news of today is Kevin Durant went down with a sprained left ankle. He did not finish practice. He's the latest in a string of injuries for this team. Obviously, he was the one guy that, if everybody else got hurt, you might want to say, okay, that's fine as long as we have Kevin Durant. But he's a guy that they needed. They can't afford to lose for any significant amount of time. Good news is it's only a sprained ankle. There's no word yet on whether or not he'll be able to play Thursday and Friday in the final two preseason games. But he did go down and didn't finish practicing today.
Have they hired extra training staff out there?
They need them.
Chris Wilcox, you said he got hurt too?
Chris Wilcox he strained his left hamstring today. So, and he was already battling injuries to his ankles, he had a shin contusion is what they were calling it. So he's another guy who needs to heal up because he's probably going to be a starter, starting power forward.
So do they just rest those guys over this weekend when they go out to Phoenix and stuff, or just kind of wait and see?
It depends. I don't think they can afford to play him minutes. PJ didn't get into it too much today. He's sort of a game time decision type of coach, is from what I'm being able to tell so far. Joe Smith is another guy. We talked to him yesterday. He said he's not going to play in these final two preseason games. He went out and finally got his mask today, so he's going to have that Richard Hamilton type mask on the next time you guys see him on the court.
Yeah, Kevin Durant has to play in the season opener at the Ford Center, for crying out loud. What else have they really been working on this past week, just while they've been able to practice and kind of evaluate what happened during that stretch of games?
Well, the biggest thing what they wanted to do with these I think it was 8 days off they had, was work on offense. PJ said the other day that they weren't able to put in as much offense as they would like because of all the injuries. When they were missing guys like Nick Collison and Chris Wilcox and Joe Smith, Kevin Durant now, it just limits how much you're able to put in offensively. Offensive sets and get things done sort of like in a 5-on-5 type setting. So that was one thing that they wanted to do more of. Defensively, he says that he's happy with where they are defensively. You got to remember this was the fourth or fifth worst defensive team in the league last year. So we're going to be hearing about defense all season long. So we're gonna see. It's going to be a great test for them Thursday and Friday because Phoenix, obviously the run and gun Suns, and then the Lakers have a lot of offensive weapons too. So we're going to see just how much they've learned defensively.
Is it going to be a matter of so many guys are hurt, they're just going to have to, play the mini games as they used to play with the Hornets in these two exhibition games?
Well, they're going to have to go. I mean, they're going to play who's ever healthy. I mean, whoever's healthy, that's who they're going to have to play.
That
Kevin
might be a little rough.
Yeah, Kevin, if his ankle doesn't get any better, he might have to sit out. Joe Smith, like I said, is definitely going to sit out, and depending on how bad Chris Wilcox's hamstring is, he might sit out. Nick Collison is also questionable whether or not he's going to play in those two games. I blogged that PJ said 15,000, so when I walked in and saw 3,000, that was a little disappointment. But 3,000 was good, I think. I mean, for the most part, the thing that you really noticed was it was a lot of kids there. And it's something that, kids don't really get to do. They don't get to interact with these guys every day. So, I think it was good for them that this organization held that open practice for a lot of these kids to see them up close and personal.
All right, talking about another thing that was in the paper this morning was Mike Baldwin wrote about Johan Petro, about how he's coming along as a rebounder, something they really need. We've talked on about kind of this hole in the middle that they have. How important is he to the whole development there and really kind of their success as a team? Extremely
important. I mean, they have 3 7-footers on the roster that you would consider sort of true centers. Petro, Robert Swift, and Mo Sene. Sene and Swift have been banged up. Those are another couple of injured guys that we didn't talk about. But Petro so far has shown the most skill. I mean, he's able to sort of step outside, hit 10 to 12 to 15 footers. He can take you inside a little bit. He's more of a perimeter guy. but he's shown a knack for rebounding. I mean, he's averaged, I think it's a little over 9 rebounds in this preseason. He's had 7 or more in all of the games and had a preseason high of 15 against the Clippers. So if they can just get interior defense out of him and some rebounding, I mean, he's gonna help this team out tremendously.
Alrighty, thanks, Darnell. Remember, folks, if the Thunder are playing anywhere from Montana to Memphis to L.A. to Phoenix, somebody will be there. Darnell or Mike Baldwin will be there. And read about the best coverage of the team anywhere at newsok.com, thundermadness.com, and every day in the Oklahoman.